a late-night discount store. A senior coworker of mine said something he should never have said to a woman he didn't know. After that, something waited only in the gaps between sounds. Even tonight, I can't turn the TV down. Cheap laughter from a late-night show is fine. So is the fake applause from a shopping channel. As long as something is making noise, that's enough. When the room goes quiet, that woman's voice rises up from somewhere deep down. Was it really laughter? What had she found? Even now, I'm afraid of the answer. From the Ghost Files. Last Friday, Kirino, a senior colleague in my department, died at home. They did not tell us much about how he was found, only that something thin from the office was lying beside his ear, the kind we used every day. The police apparently decided early on that there was no foul play. At the office, people whispered about how strange his death was, but I did not even go to the wake. If that sounds cold, I can't argue, but I knew about that night, so there was almost no room left for surprise. Kirino was less of a senior colleague and more of a drinking friend, someone I could complain about work with. About 3 weeks ago, after work, he came to my apartment and opened a can of beer. It was one of those nights where you talk for hours and say nothing. When we drank, we never put on the TV or music. In that quiet room, only complaints about work and rumors about other people filled the air. Looking back, the silence that night was a little too thick. We ran out of alcohol, so we walked to a large late-night discount store nearby. It was the kind of big suburban place that sells groceries, household goods, almost everything. At the edge of the produce aisle, Kirino suddenly stopped. A little farther ahead, a woman with long hair was standing there. Her hair hung far below her shoulders, ragged and limp. The hand holding her shopping basket did not move. She stared down at a head of Napa cabbage, her mouth hanging open. It almost looked like she was laughing, but she did not look happy. It sounded like wet breath leaking from a dry throat. People in the neighborhood saw her now and then. Nobody spoke to her. Nobody went near her. Everyone pretended not to see. That was how she existed there. Kirino was very drunk, and he started harassing her. He laughed and said, "What's so funny, huh?" The woman did not answer. Her mouth stayed half open, and that breath-like sound kept going. We had just moved over to the liquor aisle when Kirino gave a short gasp. When I turned around, the woman's face was right beside Kirino's ear, close enough to touch. I honestly do not know when she got there. Kirino reacted without thinking. He shoved her away with both hands. She fell hard onto the floor, but she did not get angry. With her mouth still open, she looked at us in the same way. The clerks and the other customers only watched from a short distance. No one stepped in. When we got back to my apartment, Kirino suddenly went quiet. Every time the conversation stopped, his eyes darted to the corner of the room, or to the front door. It was not like him, so I made a light joke about it. But from the next day on, the change was obvious. On the train, at lunch, he never took out his earbuds. He kept something playing so loud that we could hear it leaking out. He could not do that while working. So then he began muttering to himself, "Shut up, still here, close." Words like that slipped out now and then. People around him were unsettled. I was annoyed, but somewhere inside I felt that the night at the store had not ended. One night after work, I practically forced Kirino to come with me to a late-night family restaurant, one of those casual chain diners. He said he could not talk in a quiet place, so he picked a noisy table near the kitchen. What he told me there came out in pieces. Still, it did not sound like a lie. Ever since the night he pushed that woman away, he heard that voice behind him only in the instant when other sounds cut out. At first, he thought he was imagining it, but each day, it came closer. Now just turning off the light in his room made him feel it right behind his ear. That was why he could not sleep. That was why he could not let the noise stop. I thought guilt and lack of sleep had simply worn him down. I thought he was taking a real woman and turning her into a monster in his own mind. To prove that, I took Kirino back to that store. He truly did not want to go, but I brought him anyway, almost dragging him. I thought we did not even have to go inside. We could just look through the glass beside the entrance and watch the sales floor. If he saw that woman shopping like anyone else, that delusion of his would disappear. That was what I had decided. But no matter how long we waited, she did not appear. Just as I started to feel uneasy, Kirino crouched down and covered both ears. I hear it. It's coming. Right behind me, he said, shaking. That was when I heard it too. The hum of the store's machines, a distant announcement, and through the gap between them, a voice like wet breath, right behind me. I turned only my head, slowly, to the side. The woman was standing directly behind Kirino. A moment before, she had not been inside the store. She had not been in the parking lot. And yet she stood perfectly still, as if she had been there from the beginning. I grabbed Kirino's shoulder by reflex. Do not let him turn around. For some reason, that was all I could think. Only the corners of her mouth relaxed as she looked at us. That was the first time I saw her face head on. A mouth shaped like a smile, but her eyes were terribly dry. And the strangest thing was inside her mouth. In that dark, open depth, I couldn't see a single tooth. For a while, the woman only stood there. Then she passed beside us and disappeared toward the dark edge of the parking lot. I could not say anything to Kirino. Had he seen her? Had he not? I did not even have the courage to ask. That night I let Kirino go home alone. I still regret it. From the next day on, he did not come to work. A few days later, they found him dead at home. If I had told him what I saw that night, maybe something would have changed. But now there is no way to know. But there is one thing I did come to understand. That woman's voice was not laughter. I had only convinced myself it was. In truth, it was something much simpler. The moment the TV sound cuts out, the moment the ventilation fan's hum weakens, I still hear it, wet, muffled, like a child counting softly under their breath. Found you, found you, found you. From the moment I understood what it was saying, I haven't been able to let my room go quiet. I still don't know who it has found next. You listened. Now it is coming for you. Or maybe it is already here, behind you.